everyone. I woke up this morning. I remembered I have a whole bag of potatoes. It's already starting to eye. So I'm going to make homemade potato soup. And then I'm going to start my bread maker up and make a loaf of homemade bread. I'm going to cut it kind of thick. Just do like an 8-slice thing. Because we don't really eat that much bread. Not regular bread anyway. We eat wheat bread for sandwiches. But anyway, so I'm going to make homemade soup. Potato soup. I'm going to cook some bacon in the air fryer because the reason I like the air fryer is it's not greasy and it's crunchy and it's just good. And I need some for the potato soup and I need some for breakfast. So it's like a half a pack in there right now. And I'm going to cut the air fryer on. I'm going to fix the time down to about 7. And then check it and got it on 400. Here we go. My potatoes drained and chopped up. This is about the right sizes I wanted them. I like my potatoes a little, chunky. I love potato soup, but I love a little chunky potato soup. And I'm going to chop up a couple yellow onions and get them sauteing in some butter. All right, I'm going to chop up 2 yellow onions. I'm going to chop up 2 yellow onions. The reason I did 2 is because, well, they're kind of small, and I like a good onion flavor in my soup. So, yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to do that right quick. And get them sauteed in some butter with a little bit of onion powder, salt, and pepper. You want to do that before you pour your water in it and put your chicken stock in it. I have not made this stuff that many times. It's been a while, but I don't know. I just thought we got potatoes that need to be actually used up. They're getting bad, and I don't like wasting food. All right, I'm going to try to chop it up kind of fine. I don't really want no big chunks of onion in my potato soup. I just want a little bit of onion flavor. And I did use some onion powder, but it's still not the same. You want to use your onion. You can tell I grew up on a country farm. My mother cooked all the time. I really miss her so much. I wish I would have learned more from her than I did. But she taught me to start cooking when I was 10 years old. She hurt her back really bad, and she had an option of having back surgery. And this was back in the 70s, y'all. And it wasn't a very good thing to do, the back surgery back then, because I think they didn't have it as, and I don't even know if they still do or not. Boy, these onions are starting to make me tear up, y'all. Hold on a second. So she decided to lay in the bed on her back on a hard board under the mattress, like the doctor suggested. And so she told me when I got off the school bus what to do every day to help cook supper until Daddy got home from work. And I learned to cook at a very young age, and she just trusted me. But let me tell you something. She was very careful with it too, because she didn't want me to get hurt. So as a child, I believed everything my mom told me. And she told me that she wanted me to tear up a head of lettuce in a bowl, but don't use a knife because it takes the flavor out of the lettuce. Well, I believe that woman. All my life, I just sat there and tore it up in chunks, made a big bowl of, lettuce to make a salad. As I got older, I realized, and I had my own kids, that she was just protecting me, that I wouldn't get hurt and cut my fingers off or something. Because, I'm young. I probably was around 10 years old. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so I've got my onion ready. So, here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put my pot on the stove. I've got a little bit of butter in here. I've got salt and pepper and some onion powder. I'm going to put a little bit of my avocado oil in there to give it a little bit more flavor. Let me get a spatula. I am going to basically saute these onions right quick. So I've got 2 small onion, yellow onion, by the way. They're gonna have a little more flavor when you're cooking. You want to use the sweet onions when you're just chopping them up for like a salad or something like that. My Bluetooth just went off. Anyway, so yeah, I am going to saute this up, and a few little chunks in there I probably want to break up with the knife. But I'm going to let these saute until they start getting golden brown. Okay, so I'm going to let these saute until they start getting golden brown. Check my bacon right quick. We'll see how the bacon's doing. Bacon's pretty much ready. I've got a couple pieces in there that need to be turned over. But majority of it's done, so I'm gonna get that out and let it start draining better. And yeah, because we'll break that up in our soup. What I'm gonna do next is let these saute. And then I'm going to put my water and my chicken stock in it, which I use better than bouillon. It has a good flavor to it. So majority of times I use that for my thing. Alright, we're going from there. Back to the story. So she was laying on her back for about 6 to 8 weeks. I was about 10 or 11 years old probably. And she started teaching me to cook that way. I would go to her bed. And she would tell me what to do, and then I'd go back to the kitchen. And so, like I said, she'll sit there and think about how can we be careful about all this. So she told me you had to tear the head of lettuce up in a bowl in chunks, little chunks, make a big bowl of lettuce. And she said, don't use a knife because it takes the flavor out of the lettuce. As I got older, I believe now I know that she was just telling me that so I wouldn't hurt myself. But, my dad would get home between 5:30 and 6, and he would help me finish the supper. But we would make like spaghetti. She would teach me to do things from her bed, easy meals to feed 4 kids and a husband and her. And yeah, it was something I learned to do at a very young age. And then she taught me to make homemade biscuits later, and so some sausage gravy. So those are memories I miss, and she was so good at cooking. She was always baking pies, and we had this lady that would drive in our driveway, and she would open her trunk, and she had these products called the Raleigh products. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it was like a brand back then, and they sold it from their car. I mean, basically like a book, like Avon. And my mom would buy all of her cooking things from that lady, and she loved their cooking stuff, like the chocolate pie, filling. She just done everything. She was always, making persimmon pudding, just different things. All right, these are starting to get brown a little bit. I don't want them to scorch, so anyway. But anyway, she cooked all the time, and she cooked good. And she also worked hard, too. She owned a dance school for many years in, like, 3 different towns. I grew up as a dancer, and I loved it. It was like my middle name. And she also sold real estate as we got older because, she didn't have kids to raise anymore. And she got a little bit, wanting to do something different more. So she did real estate for years. And then I kind of took over the dance school for years. I started my own and I taught dancing for a good 30 years, I would say. No lie. Maybe longer. I don't know. I hadn't sat down and counted it up. But it was fun. Enjoyed it. Won many awards. Did a lot of things that I won't forget as far as memories. Okay, so I'm going to let them just get a little more golden. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pour water in here. And put some chicken stock in here. And then we're going to put our potatoes in it. And you don't want to put the water any more than over your potatoes. So you want to make sure potatoes start filling up the pot. So I might pour my potatoes in here first and start browning them a little bit. And then, matter of fact, I think we're going to do that. I've already got them drained here in my strainer. So we're going to just go ahead and pour the potatoes in here. Because I like it this way too. And we're going to start getting them mixed up in those onions good. And then I'm going to get some water, and we're going to do the chicken stock. Got my distilled water. I don't do purified water. I have done spring water if that's all they have. But most of the time I buy distilled water. You want to go about to the top of the potatoes, just like that, because you don't want it too runny. But if it does get runny, you can put a little cornstarch in it to thicken it up, but I don't really care to do that. All right, so I've got my water in there. I'm gonna get a spoon. I'm gonna put a heaping spoonful, maybe a couple heaping spoonfuls of Better Than bouillon, because I do like it to taste a little chickeny. So let me mix that up really good in there. Let me get another one. I need to buy a new thing of this. I've been using it for a while. There's really not much in here, so I might just use what's left, because honestly, there is not much in here. All right, yeah. I'm just going to put that in there. And I'll have to buy a new one of those when I get home. Get to the store. All right, so now I'm going to let this just simmer and cook. And then after it starts thickening up, let me show you what I've got here. I want to put a little more pepper in here too. Okay, my potato soup is pretty much done. What I did is I put another half a stick of butter in it. I poured some half and half in it. I took about 2 scoops of this juice out, put it in another little saucer bowl, put 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in it, and now I'm just letting it thicken up a little bit. But other than that, it is ready to eat, and it looks and smells so good. And that is potato soup, y'all. Thanks for watching, y'all.